Did you know that 80% of people believe creativity is a talent you're either born with or not? But here's the shocking truth. Creativity isn't just a gift, it's a skill you can build, even without expensive tools. In fact, the most innovative minds throughout history didn't rely on fancy gadgets or high-end gear. Albert Einstein didn't need a high-tech lab to change the world, and Steve Jobs built Apple in a garage. The real secret? They knew how to tap into the power of their minds and their environment. In this video, we'll explore how you can unleash your creativity without spending a dime. We'll dive into techniques that help you think outside the box, use what you already have, and work with the world around you to create something amazing. Get ready to see how limited resources can actually be your best advantage. So, if you think you need expensive tools to be creative, think again. Your brain and your surroundings are all you need. Chapter 1. Unlock your inner innovator. The power of constraints. Creativity doesn't always come from unlimited freedom. In fact, constraints can be one of the most powerful drivers of innovation. Think about it. When we're limited by resources or tools, our brains work harder to find clever solutions. One of the best examples is the famous artist Pablo Picasso, who often worked with fewer materials, which pushed him to explore new techniques. When you set creative constraints, your brain switches into problem-solving mode. Take a simple exercise like limiting yourself to just 2 colors. It forces you to get creative and think about combinations, contrasts, and ways to express ideas without relying on a wide palette. It's a trick many designers and artists use to make their work stand out. A study by the American Psychological Association shows that limitations can spark creativity. When participants were given restrictions on how to solve a problem, they generated more unique and inventive solutions than those with no restrictions at all. Constraints help avoid the paradox of choice, where having too many options can leave us feeling stuck. You can apply this idea in everyday life. Want to write a song? Limit yourself to just 3 chords. Or, if you're a photographer, use your phone's basic camera settings for a day instead of fancy lenses. By working with less, you often come up with something more meaningful and creative. This mindset is backed by many successful entrepreneurs. For example, Steve Jobs was a huge fan of the idea of focusing on the essentials. He believed that by limiting features in products, the design would be clearer, more intuitive, and, ultimately, more creative. By stripping away excess, you get to the heart of the idea. Remember, creativity isn't about having more, it's about making the most of what you already have. Constraints aren't your enemy, they're your creative ally. Chapter 2. Turn everyday objects into masterpieces. You don't need fancy art supplies to be creative. In fact, some of the best works come from everyday objects. You've probably heard of artists using things like bottle caps, cardboard, or even trash to create stunning pieces of art. Why? Because creativity is about seeing potential where others might not. Take something simple, like a paperclip. It might seem insignificant, but with a little imagination, it can be bent into shapes or used to make sculptures. In 2016, artist Justin Gignac famously sold small cubes filled with New York City garbage. It's a reminder that creativity often comes from thinking differently about the objects around us. Studies show that people who are able to make something new from common objects are often more resourceful and inventive. A study from the University of Michigan found that people who practiced repurposing items had higher creativity scores on tests. The act of seeing potential in an object can stimulate brain activity in unique ways. Think about the Lego bricks. They are simple, inexpensive, and incredibly versatile. The toy company estimates that more than 600 billion Lego pieces have been sold globally, proving that even the simplest objects can create limitless possibilities when approached creatively. When you're stuck for inspiration, just look around you. A rubber band, a cardboard box, or even old newspapers can spark new ideas. The key is to think beyond their usual purpose. What if a torn piece of paper becomes a piece of art, or a rock turns into a sculpture? Being creative doesn't require a studio full of high-tech gadgets. It requires you to open your mind and see the world as a giant canvas. Your creativity is only limited by the way you view the objects around you. So, next time you feel like you need something special to create, take a closer look at what's already in front of you. Chapter 3. The Mindset Shift. Embrace the messy side of creativity. Creativity isn't always neat and tidy. In fact, the most brilliant ideas often come from chaos, mess, and even mistakes. Embracing this messy side of creativity can lead to breakthroughs. Think about famous inventions like the Post-it note. It was created by accident when a scientist at 3M was trying to make a stronger adhesive, but instead ended up with a weak one that led to a whole new product. Perfectionism can stifle creativity. In a study by Harvard Business School, it was found that people who embrace failure are more likely to come up with innovative ideas. Failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to learn from and build upon. So, the next time something doesn't go as planned, think of it as an opportunity rather than a setback. Allowing yourself to get messy opens up new ways of thinking. Author Elizabeth Gilbert, in her book Big Magic, talks about how creativity is often unpredictable and requires an open mind. You don't need to know what you're doing to do it well, she writes. Sometimes, the best ideas come when you least expect them. Think about the process of writing a novel. It often begins as a rough draft with mistakes, errors, and awkward sentences. It's only through revision, learning from those initial missteps, that the story finally comes together. Similarly, in any creative field, the messy start is often the foundation for something great. Science backs this up, too. The concept of productive failure suggests that mistakes during the creative process are essential for growth. A study by the University of Chicago found that when students were allowed to fail and try again, they performed significantly better than those who were given only successful examples to learn from. When you free yourself from the need for perfection, you free your creativity. Let go of the idea that everything has to be spotless or polished from the start. Creativity grows best in an environment where mistakes are seen as stepping stones, not roadblocks. So next time you're working on something, embrace the mess. It might just be the key to unlocking your most creative ideas. Remember, creativity thrives in chaos. Don't be afraid to get a little messy. If you're enjoying these tips on unlocking your creativity, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's time to tap into your true potential. Don't miss out on the next chapters. Chapter 4. Collaborate with your environment. Nature as your canvas. Sometimes, the best tools for creativity aren't in your studio or office. They're right outside your door in nature. Nature offers an endless supply of inspiration. Whether it's the patterns in leaves, the colors in the sky, or the shapes of rocks. It's free, it's all around us, and it can unlock new creative ideas. Take the example of Japanese Zen gardens. These minimalist landscapes use simple rocks, sand, and plants to evoke a sense of peace and creativity. The patterns in the sand aren't random. They're carefully designed to inspire calm and reflection. By connecting with the environment, the process of creation becomes meditative and intuitive. Even scientists have realized how nature sparks creativity. Research from the University of Kansas shows that people who spend time in nature are more creative and have improved problem-solving skills. The study found that participants who went on a 4-day hiking trip showed a 50% increase in creativity. It's clear that the natural world is a powerful tool for innovation. Walking through the forest can stimulate your brain. The variety of textures, smells, and sounds help break the usual patterns of thought and encourage fresh ideas. You don't need expensive tools, just a walk outside and an open mind. Nature offers a space for new ideas to blossom without the distractions of modern life. You can use nature in your everyday creative practices, too. For example, if you're an artist, you might collect fallen leaves and twigs to incorporate into your art. A writer could go outside to find inspiration for new stories or characters. The key is to immerse yourself in your surroundings and let nature influence your process. Don't underestimate the power of stepping away from your usual environment. A change of scenery can help reset your mind and spark creativity. Creativity doesn't just come from the brain, it comes from interaction with the world around you. Enjoying this content? Make sure to subscribe and keep up with more creative strategies that will change the way you think. Chapter 5. Your brain is the ultimate tool. Harness your imagination in the world of creativity. The most powerful tool you have is your brain. The human mind is capable of incredible things, and creativity starts with a thought. But how do you unlock your brain's full potential for creativity? It's all about training your imagination. Imagination isn't something that just happens, it's a skill that can be developed. One of the best ways to build your creative mind is through mental exercises. Try mind mapping, where you start with a central idea and branch out to explore related concepts. This simple exercise helps to expand your thinking and create connections you might not have considered before. Another great method is visualization. Athletes use it to enhance performance, and creative people can use it to improve their craft. Visualizing your ideas before you begin helps form a clear mental picture and can guide your creative process. The brain doesn't distinguish between imagined and real experiences, so visualizing your success can bring it closer to reality. Studies show that people who practice imaginative exercises tend to be more creative. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Creative Behavior found that participants who engaged in creative visualization had improved problem-solving skills. It turns out that using your imagination is one of the most powerful ways to unlock your creative potential. Another way to sharpen your brain's creative power is by seeking out new experiences. The more varied your experiences, the more connections your brain can make. Traveling to new places, meeting new people, and learning new skills can all help expand your mind and enhance your creativity. The famous inventor Nikola Tesla once said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence." This quote shows how important it is to think beyond what's physically in front of you. Your imagination is the bridge to the future of your creativity. So, start training your brain. Challenge yourself with new mental exercises, take time to visualize your ideas, and let your imagination roam freely. The more you engage your mind, the more creative you'll become. Chapter 6. Creative Workouts. Building creative muscle. Just like any muscle, creativity gets stronger the more you use it. Think of creativity as a workout for your brain. You don't need fancy equipment or expensive classes, just dedication and practice. The more you exercise your creative muscles, the more natural it will become to generate new ideas. A simple way to start is by giving yourself daily creative challenges. Try drawing something every day, even if you're not an artist. You can write for 10 minutes a day or try solving puzzles that make you think in new ways. These small, consistent exercises will build your creativity over time. One popular technique is to set a timer and free write. This is when you write whatever comes to mind without worrying about grammar or structure. The goal is to let your thoughts flow freely and see where your mind takes you. By doing this regularly, you'll build mental flexibility, which is crucial for creative thinking. Research shows that regular creative exercises can boost brain function. A 2017 study by the University of Toronto found that people who engaged in creative exercises on a regular basis had higher levels of cognitive flexibility and problem-solving abilities. This means that creativity isn't just about making art, it's about training your brain to think in new ways. Another creative workout is reverse brainstorming, where you start by thinking about how to make something worse instead of better. This unexpected approach often leads to surprising new insights. It might seem counterintuitive, but it's a great way to break free from traditional thinking patterns and push your creativity to new heights. Think about the 30-day challenges popular on social media. These challenges, whether they're about drawing, writing, or even cooking, help build a creative habit. By committing to these daily tasks, you're training your brain to be more creative over time. Consistency is key. Creativity also thrives when you step out of your comfort zone. Try learning something completely new, like a musical instrument, a language, or a different type of art. The unfamiliarity of a new skill forces your brain to make new connections, which boosts your creative abilities. In the end, creativity isn't a gift you're born with, it's a skill you develop. By doing creative workouts regularly, you'll improve your ability to think outside the box. So get moving, and start building your creative muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it will become. Thanks for joining us on this creative journey. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for even more tips on unlocking your full creative potential.